At 6:30 p.m. Can I please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so everybody's aware, we're recording via Zoom and also via WCAT 6 on our local access network. Okay? Ms. Baxter's not on there? She's the first thing on the agenda.
No.
Just wait until she shows up. Okay, so we'll have to table Cynthia Baxter for the water department. She had some information or wanted to talk about something. And we'll move on. Next thing on the agenda is review of 2024 retiree health benefits renewal rates from Massachusetts Interlocal Insurance Association, MIA, and possible vote to authorize the treasurer to accept the new rates. Okay. Mr. Farrar, did you have anything on this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is standard operating procedure. Every year, MIA will come out with the new rates for the town's retirees. These rates reflect a 2.76% increase from current rates. These are still, well within the range of affordability for the seniors. This is about an equivalent to about $11 increase over the current rate, and it would be it's the recommendation of the treasurer to renew with MIA for the MedX2 products that the town offers to its town retirees.
11 a month
It's $11.10 increase.
Right.
or 11 a year?
That would be
Monthly rate.
the actual increase of a month, but some of that is shared by the town. There's a subsidy of that the town or that the trust fund pays through OPEB. It is budgeted for a 6% increase, so we are well below the budgeted amount. So there's, we were anticipating, as possibly up to, a 6% increase. So, it's going to be well under the budget.
Okay. They explain why they went up? They gotta-
I think that rates in general have gone up. The rates for prescription drugs have considerably gone up, and I think that's one of the driving forces behind this this increase. If you look at the RX portion of it, that's where the majority of the increase is. You're seeing
Now,
that
this is
across
for
the country.
2024,
Correct.
and the previous rates, 2019, there was no increase, 2020, no increase, 21, there was no increase, 22, there's a 1.13% increase, 2023, no increase, and then for 2024, we're doing a 2.76% increase.
Which is like 1.3 every year.
Yeah, they really haven't gone up a lot in years.
It's still a great product that is offered to our retirees. Any increase, I understand for individuals who are on a fixed income is tough, but this is well below the industry standard for an increase.
Okay. You have any comments?
No. I think it's good.
You have anything, sir?
I'm good.
We'll wait for the train to go by a little bit. No, short train.
Amtrak.
There is a signature page for the
Yep.
I have
selectmen.
it.
So,
But does-
so motion?
we have to sign that, or is,
Probably both.
Yeah, you could do either or
Oh.
just, or just have Dawn sign that one. Yeah.
okay, so I'll just have Derek
Yeah.
sign this one.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the renewal proposal from Maya Health
And
Benefits.
authorize Derek to sign.
Maya Health Benefits Trust for the MedX 2 with PDP product for town retirees. Renewal is at 2.76% increase to premium for the term from January 1, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. Do we need to say Derek? Because it says clerk.
Yeah, we're authorizing him to sign.
All right, and authorize Derek to sign as the clerk.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye. Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bellis? Aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay.
I feel special today.
All right, moving on. Review a request from the Council of Aging for a rental fee waiver of $150 for a memorial service at the senior center on September 30th, 2023, and possible vote. Okay. Mr. Ferrari, you had that
Thank you.
request?
In your packet this evening, there is a request from the Senior Center Director, Sharon Milley, requesting that the board waive the established rental fee of $150 for the senior center to a private entity for a memorial service for a former town employee, Pete Hastings, who has given so much to the community through his dedication and work in town, that this waiver is coming before you. I will note, Mr. Chairman, that they have secured the necessary certificate of liability coverage for the event that is behind you in their certificate of liability coverage, which lists the town of Warren as the additional insured and certificate holder in the appropriate limits as suggested by Maya.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, I'm okay with it.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir. Completely fine with it.
I think this is definitely a must. You know, Pete Hastings has been a really important member of our community for a very long time, and he's done a lot for our community. And this is the least we can do, is try to help out. So, if you're good with it, do a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to waive the rental fee of $150 at the senior center for the Pete Hastings Memorial Service.
I second that.
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bellis? Aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. No set, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, review and discuss updated quote from NSA Commercial Door and Hardware for non-removable pin and hinges on doors at the Shepherd Building. Possible vote to move forward with the project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you this evening, I know we had a really rough estimate last week when we had our meeting. NSA came back with a pretty solid concrete quote, well below an estimated amount of $3,000. We're at $1,717.56, which also does include addressing a door in the town administrator's office that currently has some locking problems. and addressing the rest of all of the offices with doors for the offices of the treasurer, the tax collector, assessors, town clerk, accountants, selectmen's secretary, and selectmen's meeting room offices with non-removable pins and hinges.
So, the background on this is, we were looking at some of the doors in some of these important offices where personnel files and records are kept on residents. And the problem with the doors is the hinges are on the outside of the door and the pins can be popped out.
Like that door.
And the door could be removed without having to unlock the door. You can pop the hinge out and take the door right off. That's a security issue for us, and it was a very much a security concern for me to have that. We've been taking measures to update the security in the building with the access cards and ID badges for the doors and things like that. Well, we also have to focus on the doors inside the building also and make sure somebody can't, even if they got into the building and they weren't authorized, that they can't access the offices. And this is one way of doing that, is to make sure somebody couldn't pop the hinge to get into an office. So I'm good with the estimate now. It's, you know, it's much more detailed, and that's our rate. And I think it's fair because they're gonna have to do some installation with the doors and making sure the doors fit correctly and stuff. And they're also repairing a door upstairs also, the locks. So I'm good with it. Have we identified a funding source?
Yes, so since these are all projects within the Shepherd Building, the Shepherd Building expense account has money in it to cover the cost of this project. And then, as we have, you know, done in the past, we can always put money back into the account at the fall special.
Okay. And that's in November.
In November, yep. I mean, we have plenty of money to get us.
We're not gonna run short.
No.
All right. We're not gonna run short, right?
No,
All
no,
right.
sir.
All right.
Because that was a concern last
That
time,
was,
right?
yeah.
Well, if we didn't put money in by next June, we would run short.
We'll be good though.
Okay.
We're good to do this.
Right. All right. Do you have any questions, sir? Any
No,
thoughts?
it's almost half of the quote from last week.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
And this is gonna take some time for NSA to order this and to schedule out an installation date. They're probably 2 months behind in doing installation and in ordering. So, you know, this may, you know, if the board authorizes us tonight to move forward with the project, we may even have the money before
Yeah,
the special, you know.
Sounds good.
I don't think we're in a hurry.
You
Okay,
good with it?
yep. All right, I'll make a motion to accept the proposal from NSA Commercial Door and Hardware for security hinges.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Move forward, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Acceptance of a state grant in the amount of $400,000 for Rural and Small Town Development Fund for the Otis Street Improvement Project, and possible vote to authorize the town administrator to sign for the grant on behalf of the town. Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
awesome. Again, we're getting money from grants. Love it.
100,000.
Almost $500,000.
So, Chief, $400,000 grant, sir. Let's go. Want to see you match that. Mr. Farrar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do want to extend and thank CMRPC for their help in this. Chris, along with the team over there, was very helpful. in getting this, putting this project together. I do want to thank the Healy and Driscoll administration for their dedication to rural small town, and to Ann Goby. Ann, I had a conversation before this was awarded with Ann. Ann and Rep. Smoller were very instrumental in helping the town get this over the goal line into this project. This project, I think, as you may recall, was submitted in the past and had to have some adjustments made to have a little bit more favorable reading on it with Mass DOT. And so I think that this particular project right here, you know, has now really been at the forefront at some of the people over at the Executive Office of Economic Development and Housing and Livable Communities. So I'm very appreciative of this. This is an excellent, you know, start for continuing on, you know, with Prospect, Richardson School, Oldest Street, finishing that neighborhood up there. You know, this was very important. Thank you to the state officials for their commitment to the town of Warren.
Thank you very much, and it was amazing to see, you know, these grants. We really couldn't do a lot of the stuff that we do if we weren't getting these grants and getting this money. And it just takes somebody to submit the paperwork and on our behalf and go after these. And you know, thankfully we have CMRPC, and Chris Dunphy is amazing with doing grants and getting this money, and you know, Mr. Ferraro chasing them. And on the side note, you know, Chief Millette and Chief Lavoie going and getting grants, and Jim McKeon doing grants too. The town really depends on this. We don't have the tax revenue to be doing a lot of this stuff, and people get concerned about our roads and how they get fixed. Well, this is how they get fixed. We get grants, we apply for them, and we try to get these things fixed because they cost a lot of money to do. So this is greatly appreciated. You know, I concur. Thank you for Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll and CMRPC. You know, great job. Thank you. And Goby too. She's an amazing part. She's still helping us.
Well, she's still helping.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. She hasn't forgotten us.
Nope.
We're still there. So, all right. You have any questions?
I don't.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir?
Okay. Motion?
Make a motion to accept the state grant in the amount of $400,000 from rural and small town development, and authorize the town administrator to sign on behalf of the town.
Second.
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. Good job, everybody. Okay, review and possible vote to sign an escrow agreement between 360 Building and Remodeling and the town for the work to be performed at the senior center. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With this escrow agreement, this agreement has not been reviewed yet by town council. So anything, I have sent this over to town council. Jeff Blake has been in some trainings and some meetings this week. He was gonna get to it. He ran short in time, but he said that the, you know, the board could, if they chose to move forward with it, subject to approval from town council. So if the board is comfortable with moving forward, then it can be subject to his approval. This is an escrow agreement for work that will be performed at the senior center. So it's protecting the town's interest. Bless you. It's protecting the town's interest in the project for 50% of the actual value of the contract, which would be $16,700. So the contractor would be responsible of placing that amount in an escrow account held by
Powers and LaCory.
Powers and LaCory, IOLTA account, attorney, and released to him upon successful completion of the project.
So is this something we drafted up?
This was something that was drafted up by his lawyer.
Okay, because there's no, it's not on stationery or anything.
Oh, no, this is a draft by 360's lawyer that would be, that is, he's holding the money, so we didn't want to spend our legal on drafting it up, so our legal will review it. If it's approved, then it would be moved forward. If it's not approved, then there would be, it would be back to you with some modifications of some sort.
Why isn't their attorney signing them, saying that they have the money?
I don't know.
Well, because we haven't approved it yet.
I know, but there should be at least a signature line from the attorney's office. We would approve, then the attorney would sign saying that they received the money in escrow.
Oh, maybe that's separate paperwork?
The-
I mean, this is just the agreement.
This is just the agreement. So any release of the money would have to be done by, the Board of Selectmen. So when there is a release of the funds and the project has been completed, then there would be a form that you'd have to fill out there. I don't know if this is standard. Again, this has not been reviewed by our town council yet. He does have it. And so this is a.
So we have nothing to sign.
You guys would sign underneath the accepting of the escrow agreement.
Once it's approved by town council.
Correct.
So we would just approve it, and that's all we're gonna do.
Right.
Correct.
And then we'd sign it in like a week or
Right.
two.
So essentially, the contractor is putting up money, and you would have access to the money if if it wasn't performed to your standards, or if the contractor went out of business, or couldn't finish the job of some sort. So this gives the town the ability to access the funds.
So I'm good with all that. I just want to see the attorney's signature saying that they've accepted the funds on here.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, there's not even a signature line for an attorney. It's just the contractor
Mm-hmm.
and then us. There's nothing saying that the attorney even has this.
This is the owner and contractor agree that escrow funds will be held by Powers and LaCory IOLTA account in a non-interest-bearing account. I'm not sure if it's customary for the attorney to have a signature line on these types of agreements.
I mean, he probably hasn't even done he hasn't even paid the money yet. I think once we sign the agreement, then the next step would be he puts the money in escrow.
Correct.
Because he wouldn't put it in now, because we don't have an agreement. that
Right.
We're even gonna accept this, because we may
Right.
say no.
You may say no to it.
And then, I don't know whatever that means, but it means he doesn't do it.
Mhm.
So I think he's waiting for us to approve it and sign it, and then he would put the money away.
There may be a verification after the fact that the escrow agreement has been accepted by the Powers and LaCory IOLTA account.
Yeah.
Well, maybe ask Jeff, just say, how do we
I
know?
would definitely have Jeff question that.
Mhm.
Again, we can vote on it and say yeah or no, or whatever you guys
Mhm.
want to vote for, but, I do want confirmation that it was received and it's
Mhm.
placed in escrow
Mhm.
as part of the agreement, because,
Oh, so you could say somewhere in here, a copy of the executed transfer of funds will be made available
Mhm.
right,
7 days after, whatever, I don't know.
Mhm.
so. Alright. You have any questions about it?
No, no.
Have any questions?
No questions.
I'm good if, want to approve it, just make sure pending review by legal.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the escrow agreement with 360-degree building and remodeling pending approval by town council.
Okay.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. All right, warrants and bills.
All right, make a motion to pay the following warrants. Payroll number 14, $46,839.80. Vendor number 17, $55,262.68.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Make a motion to pay the following bills. W.B. Mason, $187.84. Miracle O'Connell, $5,740. KP Law, $5,430.55. Merlin Leasing Corp., $1,107.23. SBA Structures, $1,702.77. Mass Core, $5,421.71. Comcast Business, $20.30. And that's it.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. We got one more bill. I make a motion to reimburse Joyce Ihawker in the amount of $16.99 for the Zoom account.
Before second, is it cheaper to pay the whole year?
I could look into that. Could be.
Just, we can save some money.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. Second,
All in favor?
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye.
Richi Hacker abstains.
There we go.
And the motion passes unanimously with Mr. Ihawker abstaining. Okay, minutes,
None.
none. Town administrator report. You're up, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board. In your packets this evening are updated drafts for your review of programming for town offices and for the police headquarters from Tecton Architects, our company that has been providing the services for our feasibility study that we are doing on a municipal slash public safety complex. These numbers have been updated to reflect some of the recommendations that were discussed at the previous meeting by both police, fire, and the Board of Selectmen. The gross facility area for town offices is now been reduced down to 15,430 square feet, as opposed to, we were close to 19,000 square feet before. Police headquarters, the square feet amount has been reduced, now down to 9,877 square feet. Again, both numbers will allow for a 30% gross adjustment, and this is down from the previous number of somewhere around 13,000 square feet from the original draft. The police draft programming has now encompassed the Milo training, fire simulation training, firearms training simulator in the police headquarters, as opposed to having it in the municipal building. And these have been updated to reflect, trying to pare down some of the square footage in either buildings. So again, this is the second draft. So if the board we just got these this week. So if the board could take a look at them, review them, see if there's any questions or concerns. Tecton was here today. They did they're working on the draft of the fire, and that should be out by next week. So we'll have that next week for your review. But again, we spent a little over 2 hours today with Tecton, going over fire needs. It's a kind of a unique situation. We're dealing with service bays. We're dealing with storage that is unique to the fire department for turnout gear and for air packs and for equipment, and to compensate for space that's needed. That we have now 2 stations at the fire in Warren. We have Station A, Station B. A lot of what is in Station B is storage. And I understand there's an upstairs where there's a training room. So that's all been fluid and been working into the new draft. So these are 2 drafts for police and for town offices. This is the second draft. I don't know if the board has any questions regarding these drafts as of yet.
So, at the end of both of these, there's a couple things, green space. So for the town offices, there's almost 15,000 square feet.
I'm
So
sorry.
page 4.1
4.1,
of town
The last
offices.
page.
last page.
I'm just curious, again, we haven't seen any sort of graphic on this, so I guess.
Right. And you're not gonna necessarily see the next stage of this whole process. You have the feasibility study, but the next stage of this whole thing will be actual conceptual design.
Mhm.
And that's a phase within itself where we'll have to go out to bid for, and you'll have to, get, potentially, an architect, potentially somebody, that will have the experience and the knowledge of doing all of this. So this will, you'll have maybe some schematics, rough drafts.
Yeah.
But the next stage will be conceptual design. So we're not at the schematics or the rough drafts of design yet, but we will get there. The green space is green space for outside of the building.
So I got a question. In board meeting room,
What page, David?
2-3.
2, 3.
It has equipment and display. 2 throw projectors, 2 retractable projection screens. Who uses those anymore? They're all smart TV or smart boards.
Yeah, I think they used, poor terminology. I mean,
Or are they just trying to allocate space for this type of thing,
Correct.
right? Because that's all we're doing right now. We're not really
Correct.
thinking
Right.
about the cost of these things.
Right.
It's just, you're gonna do these things.
No, but if you're gonna
there's
allocate that
space.
space, allocate it to what we used.
right.
These days.
I think they use poor words there. I mean, you're right. Nobody uses, projectors.
And so there are 2, because this is a
There's 2.
subdividable room,
Yeah,
right?
2
Right.
rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, one with 30 spaces, both with 30 spaces each, 60 in total.
Mhm.
And even wall telephones, I mean,
Nobody,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I mean, we get another
Right.
Zoom thing for the
Right.
other side. A smart podium.
Smart podium would be nice.
I don't even know what that is. Does
So
that
you can
have like
control
your
everything.
speech on it, like the
No, it's where you
president
you'd
has?
have, like, you typically have you typically have a laptop and everything that would be there, so you could do presentations and project everything from there.
Okay,
As you're doing a meeting, you're conversing with your members, and you could throw up charts or whatever right from the podium. So it connects to your TV, all the electronics go in there, so instead of running it across the room,
and
you'd
tripping
have it,
over
and
it?
you just be able to plug right in,
Yeah,
so,
okay.
I know some things. So there's staff restrooms and public restrooms, right?
Correct. Yep.
Public restroom seems a little small though.
180 square feet.
The men's room is one stall. And it's a handicap stall. And then 2 urinals, 2 sinks.
Wait, so where do
We
you
I'm
only
see?
just
have
saying-
one stall now in the men's room, right?
2-1. No,
No,
there's
isn't
2.
there two?
Oh, is there
There's 2 stalls. There's a
I don't
I
handicap
don't know, I
and a
don't go in
regular.
there very often.
And then there's 6 urinals. So, which all of them work now.
Yeah.
You know, this is an
Mr.
old
Dusty.
school, so, I mean, normally you wouldn't have that many.
Where do you see, you said staff restrooms? Oh,
Yeah.
Here we are, okay.
It's on
I see, yep, public.
1.3.
I don't know, is that, I mean, that's something we might be able to shave off, right? No?
I wouldn't.
You could shave the male's staff restroom.
Yeah, I'd keep it.
Yeah?
I'll suggest
Because you
that,
kinda,
Do we
they
have-
use them all the time and they, like,
I'm assuming that they were, the
it
way.
makes it a little better if they have their own for the staff.
Okay,
I'm assuming that they are calculating the amount of stalls that according to the amount of people that will be in the building.
Yeah, but if you're accounting for 60 people, 1 stall.
Well, that's what
In
I'm
the
trying,
men's room.
that's what I'm trying to say. The code, you know, if you have 100, give you how many stalls you'll need. So I'm hoping they're doing that based on the
I'm
code.
hoping so.
they'd have to, right? I mean,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, maybe they're figuring there's only one man that actually works in this building. Oh, I guess there's 2. Ron
No,
does
because he has a
part-time.
male staff. There's a staff restroom for the male.
I know.
And then
But
the
I'm
public
saying, so
restroom,
therefore, you don't need, Jim doesn't need 3 stalls.
you don't know that. You may pick one for each day.
he likes to move around.
And Rich, the same thing, the Massachusetts Green Energy Code also applies that when you make a building and have parking lot, there's green area requirements.
Yeah.
So there's a percentage of the total area of the parking lot that
Oh,
it has to go to green.
Oh, I see.
You can't just have a lot and paved everything.
Right,
You know, put your building and pave everything. The Massachusetts code is gonna require some green areas.
okay.
Jim, I noticed that there is not a unisex bathroom.
It's not required.
Yes.
That might be a good thing.
It is required, I
To plan
think.
out.
I would double check that.
Is it an ADA requirement?
ADA should be
I don't
for
know,
everything.
But we don't wanna have to put it in 10 years. if-
Oh, right.
Maybe not today, but it'll come.
That's
Chief,
why
have you
you
gone over the requirements for your building? What you
Building
need?
code or?
Well,
No.
just in general, right?
What you
We
need?
did here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went over that. I mean, I'm with Rich. There's a lot of numbers there and things listed.
You wanna
But you
see
can't really
3D
know what he's showing
design?
me. Yeah,
It is hard to,
picture. what
Picture
they're
it, but-
Throwing at you.
when you're seeing in, perspective like this room, like.
Right, to
the,
be able to
The
visualize.
public meeting room that they have is actually larger than this room and the next room combined together, but there's a petition in the middle. So,
what-
but that also means we gotta allocate voting in there too, because it has to be able to handle voting,
Yeah,
so.
but what did we say? This, Derek, this is 600 square feet?
800.
800 square feet, right here, okay.
And that's 2,000 in this.
Yeah, so it's another 400 square feet past,
Mhm.
because these 2 rooms are the same size, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, about, 1,600.
Okay.
So we could actually, if
So
we have
another
like
half.
people interested in what's going on in town someday in the future, people could actually show up in large meetings and we don't have to turn them away because we're over our occupancy.
Yeah, well, I mean, the planning board meetings we've had where we put people in the gym, right? I mean, we
Yeah,
can have them in this.
We
meeting.
even had to turn them down in the gym because we
Yeah.
were over.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Because there was so many people, it's like, There was a line going out all the way, like waiting to get in there.
Once I think we move into the schematic where we can see more spaces and, you know, relationships, all this, you know, things are gonna come out, because what we're doing is, it's a bigger scale than when you design a house, for example. You know, in a house, there's mom, dad, and 2 kids, and then you come with, oh, we need 2 bedrooms. And wife will say, no, because we have a boy and a girl, so we need 3 bedrooms. That's exactly what we're doing here. And, you know, going through this, it will be a little difficult. Once we have, you know, the areas, and it says, why do we only have a bathroom here? And then, and questions will come out.
Yeah.
So, what are they considered standard security for some of these doors?
On what page?
It says standard security lock set, commercial lock set.
What page, I'm sorry, what,
What page?
Well, this one's on the town clerk's office
okay.
for 2.8.
Well, again, I think,
Standard commercial lock
I
set.
think that's just a key lock.
Yeah, because, again, we wanna consider what's being kept in these rooms again,
Mhm.
and making sure that they account, well, that's not standard security, that's probably a higher level at that point
Mhm.
in some of these rooms, especially rooms that we have personnel files in, birth certificates,
Mhm.
things like that.
there's a library under town clerk. Do we need a
Yes.
library?
Libraries.
100 square
He
feet
just
library.
named that like, that, he named their storage place.
Correct.
The library.
Oh, okay.
It was
That's-
not really a
that
library, it
encompass-
was Like
that en-
where she put all the,
Yeah, that encompasses her built-ins and her
Yeah.
casework.
Okay. I mean, it's not very big anyway.
Yeah, if we're being,
Library's 100 square feet.
if you're being picky a little bit, you know, I read in town clerk's office, that's saying 2.8, it says acoustics, second line, it says sound, bat insulation and stud partitions. That's really a bad practice.
You shouldn't be putting partitions in new buildings, right?
No, it's okay, they're talking about insulation between one room and the other one, but bat, you know, bat insulation is not a soundproof
Oh,
material.
Every room in here probably has that. It does.
Yeah, but that's not the solution, you know, that's just waste of money.
Oh, okay.
But for me, my interest is more into see the diagrams and how everything is coming up.
Yeah.
Those little things are, you know, are meaningless, because right now we can't, you know, make a wall bigger or paint it white, paint it red. All those details will come later. Right now, we need the conceptual design of what really the police office needs, right? And say, this is my castle in the air, but it's a realistic one, because they go through you, they take all your needs, they put it here, and then they start making mattresses where, okay, you know, the Milo is gonna have a direct access to the, you know, I don't know, the vestibule, for example, because people will come in and then go to the Milo. It's not gonna have direct access to where you have the inmates concealed, because they have nothing to do. So at some point, we're gonna start playing with bid blocks, and that's when the fun gets. Right now, it's just, this is the result of the analysis that they go, all the interviews that they go through you, and says, oh, so what do you need, chief? You know, what are your needs? I need how many offices, how many this, how many that? They're putting it right here, you know?
So, another thing is, I think some of these offices are being lumped together too much.
Yeah, I was thinking that
So
too.
2.9, you get Historic Commission, Veterans, Cemetery Commission, and Parks in one
Yeah.
office of 625 square feet. So veterans, I'm pretty sure they need their own office, because this discussing benefits and things like that, disability claims, and that's not to be discussed in front of other people.
So 600 square feet will be like this, and we'll need to divide this in 3, right?
4.
In 4? So that will be an office.
Yeah, that's doable, I guess. As long as they're
So-
properly partitioned, right?
With regards to David's comment, you know, historical commission, parks, and Cemetery Commission, may not be there, 8 hours a day. Currently,
No.
the Historical Commission may be there once or twice a month.
Yeah.
So, at some point, the town is going to have to come to the realization that it's nice to have everybody have an individual office, but it's gonna cost a lot of money.
Mhm.
And it's wasted space, like you're saying, if they're not there frequently.
So, Parks and Rec, maybe they meet, I don't know, twice a month at night,
And there'll be a meeting room, not an office.
and there'll be a meeting room available.
Yeah, that's true. So you get an office where you have your computer and your files, but then you can meet in a bigger room.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what we need the next step. This is just
Yeah.
all the work, going through interviewing everybody who's gonna need a space.
Mhm.
It'll be very hard to, go by this and try to say, oh yeah, this is good. There's
Yeah.
no way. Not even they know, or we know, how this is gonna end up.
Yeah.
Still very fluid, these are programming, just basic programming of what we currently have to
Mhm.
try to get us to the next stage of a preliminary schematic, of a preliminary sketch, conceptual design,
Yeah.
type of deal. And then, obviously, it will, look at the, proposed, location.
Yeah.
Will this location fit? I mean, will this potential, what we have accumulated, all of this, will it fit on this parcel of land? And then, they'll tell you how much something like this would cost.
Yeah, and you're right. At the end of the day, we need to see what car do we get. We get a small car, a truck, or a big 18-wheeler, how big is our garage? That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But
I
first,
mean-
we're trying to define which car is it.
Yeah.
Then we look for a garage that big.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If they do this in another town, numbers will be completely different because they run different. They have more or less staff, more cars, less cars, and more people working for it.
Yeah.
So, we just need the next step
Yeah.
to make it fun.
So personally, I'm fine with this. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still, it's conceptual. I mean, things like the lock set or the insulation between walls, like that's way down the.
But if you guys have
Yeah,
any
thing.
things that you wanna adjust, I mean, at our next meeting, I can, bring it forward.
Well, I think
Yeah,
the
we'll look
Milo
at
was
it
a big
more.
thing.
This is a good starting point. I think it's hard for me to picture 100 square feet or 200 square feet. And if it was laid out, then I could say, oh, wait, well, what about this and this and
Mhm.
this? I do think one thing that might be good to plan is a unisex bathroom. So that would be the only addition to this
Mhm.
that I would suggest right now. But as to all these dimensions and contents, it's fine for now.
Okay,
Project working.
all
Yeah.
right, very good.
Yeah.
We're
Thank you, Jim.
baby
welcome.
steps, but we're in the right direction.
Yeah.
We can make changes until it starts construction.
Yeah.
Correct.
Even during
It's gonna
construction.
cost you a lot.
That's a different story.
All right, what else do you have for us, sir?
So, that's what transpired, from our last time that we met last week to this week. Fire, you'll have some drafts on fire, next week. I wanted to give the board an update. The veterans agent position is posted, okay? Interested parties, if you're interested in serving as the town's veteran agent and possibly joining in with other towns of West Brookfield and Brookfield, then we can accept resumes and cover letters up until October 12th, right, Karen?
Yes.
October 12th. And then hopefully the board can make a determination to get that position filled. I talked to Gary today, Lapine. He's eager to get somebody there. There's going to be a training at the end of October that the state will provide as part of, there's a required, under the statute, a required certification that Gary has maintained on behalf of the town. So the new person, whoever is selected, would have to get that certification as well. And Gary would then obviously onboard that person, train that person for, about a month or so. And Gary is looking to retire the end of November. He did indicate that he'd be happy to stay on a couple extra weeks if the person had any additional questions or training issues that needed to go over. But that is out there. We're accepting applicants. Speaking of applicants, moving on to the next topic, our planning and building secretary position. I'm pleased to report that we do have a candidate that has accepted the position, okay? And will be coming in next week to start the onboarding process and going forward with the candidate. It's exciting, and hopefully I plan on bringing this before the board next week, next Thursday, once we have everything solidified with the candidate. We're happy that we can move forward with this process and get that position filled. We had 2 IFBs come back today, invitation for bids. One on highway and road materials for Chapter 90 funds and general maintenance, very important to our highway department, and for sludge hauling. The highway and road materials was due today at 11. We had 7 respondents to the IFB. We're in the process of going through all of the respondents, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with the lowest and most responsible bidder to award those materials for Chapter 90 and road materials next week. Sludge hauling was due back today at 1 o'clock, and unfortunately we did not receive anybody submitting a request, a bid for that. So I have been in contact with the chair of the sewer commissioners and Joan Levine. I had indicated that we're going to probably have to go back out to bid in about a week or so. So we're hopeful that somebody will respond to that. It is kind of a unique entity that does this, because not only are they collecting the sludge, but then they're having to dispose of the sludge at a qualified place. So you have to have a company that works with an entity that will accept the sludge and properly dispose of it. So there's not always too many companies that are out there that are qualified and capable of doing that. I did check back at the previous IFB, and there was only 2 respondents 3 years ago. So, I don't know if they're both. I was under the impression that one of them was at least still interested. It's my understanding that they just forgot about the time period. So hopefully that they will respond, and we can get that solidified. The IFB for the EDA grant, it is our goal to get that out next week. So that will be going out next week. We have finalized the scope, and that will be going out next week.
What's IFB again?
Invitation for bid.
Oh, okay.
I have been working with the Board of Health. They have identified somebody to be their health agent. This person has experienced and is a current health agent in a neighboring community, and so we're hopeful to get this person on board to be the town's next health agent. The health agent position has been vacant for some time, and this person now has the ability and has all of the credentials to do the job as health agent. And I've been working with the Board of Health to get that person on board with the town. That is their appointment as Board of Health members. And I've also wanted to inform the board that I've been working with the sewer department and the chief operator, Ralph Zabrowski, as well as chairperson Joan Levine, on taking care of some of the cement work down at the sewer plant, those steps that have been eroding away. We did get 3 quotes for some masonry work for just the steps that have been significantly eroded. And we do have a low quote of $5,712.92 from a company in North Brookfield for concrete step replacement. I've been asked by the sewer commissioners to work with this company to get the project moving. So I'll be working with them to get this done and to get the project completed, so that, you know, some of our stuff that we have been cited by the EPA, one of them was the steps, a lot of the steps, but these particular steps were critical off the rear of the building that they've totally decayed. I have to work with this low quote here to see if they can, you know, come with all of the requirements of doing town work, to see if we can get them to do the project. They have, the sewer commissioners have a line or an article that's been sitting there for, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, for $25,000 for cement work that has never been done.
Oh.
So we're using the line of money that's been sitting there for some time to get the project done.
What a great idea.
So we're hopeful that we can get it done before the cold weather, and that the masonry company has availability to do the project. On October 19th, there is a management training with the Mass Municipal Association. It's in Sharon, Mass. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is a free training. There's no registration fee required. It's for municipal managers, and I would like to see if the board would allow me to go to this training.
I thought you were inviting us.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought he was telling me about it.
Well, like, do they provide lunch?
I'm not sure. It's free. I don't know if they would provide lunch.
Well, you gotta eat though,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean,
Mass Municipal.
maybe.
Come on.
Maybe.
Bag lunch, bring your bag lunch.
I'm over here scheduling, like, yeah, I'm not doing anything that day.
I mean,
And like, yeah, for me.
this is,
So what are the topics? Do you have any?
so the topics are, for, mass managers, it's a boot camp for, going
Go through
over,
boot camp.
for going over, management topics to include, budgeting, new state, requirements, for HR and for, budgeting.
So boring stuff.
Well,
Boring but necessary.
Yeah.
Important
You gotta
stuff.
know it, yeah. Yeah, I'm good. You wanna go? Yeah.
Sure.
I wanna see you in boots. It's a boot camp.
I know, I'm expecting like push-ups and stuff
Oh.
now.
Yeah.
All right, well,
You
guess
got a
not that
month
kind
to
of boot
train.
camp.
I need a little bit more than a month.
All right. Yeah, good. You good?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're good, sir.
Okay, that will conclude my report for this evening.
All right, very informative, thank you very much. And if they're gonna be having a good lunch, let us know.
Okay.
So, all right, so next thing on the agenda is new business. Anybody have any new business?
I do not.
New business?
Not the business, but I remember about Angel.
It's
Yeah.
old business.
Okay.
So, new business. I do have something I had a request from the town clerk, Lori. She is requesting that we look into installing a restroom downstairs, for polling. When they're doing polling down there, it's kind of difficult for older folks to be walking all the way up the stairs and come across the building to use the offices. During events and things that we have too, I'm not really comfortable with having the building open for the after hours to the entire public just to use the restrooms. You know, again, we're trying to lock down on some of the security here and protect some of the stuff that is contained in a municipal building, and to just allow people after hours to use it because they need access to the restrooms doesn't really make sense to have it all unlocked. So it makes sense to have a restroom down there. There is plumbing down there, and I think it would be a good idea to at least install a unisex bathroom down there that can be used.
Where on earth would we put it, though? Behind the stage?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They can build a room in, build up a floor, install restroom, and they have to make it handicapped accessible.
That's what I was gonna say that.
But it could be a unisex bathroom. You don't need 10 stalls.
No, just one, yeah.
You need,
So we need a
Uni-
space
a
of
unisex bathroom?
6x7, clear wall to wall to make it handicap.
so. I would suggest maybe we can get a contractor in, see what it would cost to do, if it's feasible. The plumbing, it may be below grade. So to take out sewage, they may need to have a pump it up into grade. But I'm not sure if the pipes are below grade. But this is something we'd have to put an article for and request to do. But again, you know, it would make sense to have one down there because literally to have people use the restroom, they have to walk up 3 flights of stairs to get up here. And if you're somewhat disabled, there is a chairlift that goes around that's very slow and gets you around up there, which could take a while.
In order to get to the chairlift, you have to go outside and back in the second
Yeah.
door.
Yeah. So it's difficult. So it would make sense to have one in there, because even if we do build a municipal complex, that's years down the road. It's not happening next month. And then install a bathroom, that could get us through a few years. And if anything, if we decide to sell this building in the end, it gives it market value. So,
Yeah, maybe if we have a couple of contractors give us a price and then we can come with a price on
Yeah.
on town meeting.
Mhm.
it'd be good to have for meetings, so we could present it, and present the case to have it down there.
Yeah.
So that was brought. And then the other thing that was brought is, I know we talked about it in the past, but it was brought to me again. And I'll actually do that in old business, because that's actually old business that we discussed. So, but do you have anything new?
No.
Anything new,
No, sir?
Ms. Frog?
No.
Ms. Dusty?
Nope.
Okay, so old business. Any old business?
I do not.
Okay.
So Angel called me and he wants to have a Zoom meeting with me tomorrow morning. what he's looking is that, try to connect with us as town officials, so he can have the support for something. So we'll see what happens on the meeting.
Okay, just don't commit to anything.
No commitment, just,
You can listen all you want, but
Yep.
don't commit to anything. Yes, because he wanted to put the thermal energy plant and a co-op program at the mill complex. But the mill complex is currently being sold, so we have no
so what he said is.
control of that.
So what he said is, he got in touch with the owners,
Mhm.
and looks like he got some support from the state. And looks like he's coming very strong. He just wants to share with us and have us on this, up to date on what he's working on.
Okay.
And so people understand, he is the individual from Harvard,
MIT.
Harvard too. He did Harvard too. And he specializes in energy solutions, and he wanted to present a thermal energy plant that would be co-opted by the town, so the town would actually get its power through this plant at a rate that the town would set. And so we would have our own power supply for us. And yeah, that started off everything else and the development going off at the mill complex. Yeah, I would just be, we can't commit to anything.
Basically what I told her is, there's no commitment, he just wants to bring us up to date on what he's been working. He's been in touch with the owners, he got a lot of support from the state, and he wants to, keep working, but keep us on the same line.
Okay. Very good. Be great if you could still do that.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting, because I know my electric bill is getting really crazy.
Well,
It'd be nice to be able to have a nice fixed rate that's actually green energy, because thermal energy is actually the only thing that's really green. Because you can put it on less
He
than a
sounded
quarter of
very,
an acre.
very positive, and his next steps will be talk with the town administrator, and then at some point he will come to us over here.
He actually presented this and talked about this project at the White House.
Yes.
He did a presentation at the White House for this.
Mhm.
So. All right. Cool. Anything else, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. So old business, a while back, we talked about the break room for the employees. It was brought to my attention again, in requesting a sink be put in there for the employees to have, so they can wash their dishes out or do what they need to do. I know we talked about it before, because right now they have a shower stall that's in there with a bunch of bottles and cans that are in bags in there. There was storage, whatever, for their bottles and cans. But there's no need for a shower stall in a break room. If we can get that taken out, because the plumbing's already there, it shouldn't be too difficult to remove that and put in a, vanity or whatever, countertop and a sink for them, which would make it more functional. And we could probably look at adding that in to a bathroom downstairs. So we could do that as like a dual project, so. You guys good with that?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Unless you wanna keep the shower in the break room,
Full of cans.
full of cans.
No.
Makes no sense to have it. All right. So if you can look into that,
Mhm.
Mr. Farrar.
Mhm.
Thank you. Anybody else have any old business?
No.
Mr. Farrar?
No.
No?
No.
No? Correspondence. Do we have any correspondence?
Look like it. I don't,
The only thing I got is Parks is setting up for the Halloween, the haunted house downstairs. And they're getting everything set up in there, and that actually opens up on what day, Jim?
20.
Starts at the 26th, I believe. There's a flyer out.
Starts on the
So
26th.
basically, the
It
the
goes-
month of October, they're gonna be working on it.
yeah, 26. Let me look.
So,
No, I thought it was the 27th, 28th, and 30th,
okay.
I have 27th, 28th,
and 30th.
29th,
Nope, not 29th.
30th. No?
Nope, not Sunday.
You know something?
It's,
It was sent out on Town Alert.
What's it say? What's the official word?
Well, that's trunk or treat.
That's the 14th.
Yeah, it's trunk or treat is on the 14th.
It's the 27th, 28th, and the 30th. 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay. So 27th, 28th, and
The
30th?
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday is a break.
Okay.
And then the following, the Tuesday would be the trick or treat, town's trick or treat.
Hmm. You know something? Should probably invite Todd Smola and Jake Oliveira. I think Jake would be interested in going. He seems like a fun guy.
To the haunted house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invite him to our House of Horrors. All right. Okay. Any other correspondence that you could think of that was out there? No? No? Jim?
No?
Okay. Comments and concerns. Anybody have any comments and concerns?
None.
I have a comment. You know how I like to get a snowball going? Since we got this nice, beautiful sign out there, I know we have some signs that says "Welcome to Warren."
Mm.
But it would be nice if we could, just put on the pipeline to work out something where our town says "Welcome to Warren" or something
Mhm.
like that. I think it would be nice.
Yeah, we should really update the signs that are coming into town. Cause they're kinda older.
I know that Jeremy and I had talked about it, and he was trying to figure out a design. But we had talked about it when I worked over there.
Mm.
Yeah, if we can get with Jeremy again, see if we can get new signs posted, or get a design. I'd like to see a design of one too. Not just like throw out another little green sign, "Welcome to Warren."
Yeah.
So,
And the other thing, and maybe Highway will help me out a little bit. There's a little, very small area on Washington Street and Southbridge Road, that triangle over there, has a big rock with George Washington was there. Is that ours? Is that town property, that little section?
you're talking about the memorial,
We
right?
did
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
stone there. I remember we did some repairs to it when I first started full-time, but
So
Not
if it's
sure.
ours, I was wondering if Highway can, cut a little bit and make it look a little pretty. It's just a lot of bushes and everything in there. If it's ours,
I
that's
guess
the
you
entrance.
figure out if it's, what's town property there and go from there.
Can you check, Trish?
I'm waiting for it to load.
It's loading.
Be nice if we had faster internet.
Mm. Like gigabit, up and down.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I don't know if it's, let's do this.
We gotta follow up with that, by the
Oh,
way.
Maybe we'll do the assessor
It's-
now, if that's what we want.
What are we gonna do with the internet? Get that on. What was the next part on that, by the way? Was it them coming to present?
He was gonna come out to present something.
If we could schedule something like
Okay.
that for a meeting.
There we go. Okay, now we get some stuff on there. Where's,
Right there, that little triangle.
There's
No,
lots
it's
of
private
triangles.
property.
yeah, it looks private.
It's private.
Which one?
Right
That
here.
one.
Because that monument's like
It's
right,
right there,
right
yeah.
on the tip.
But that house is, it's empty.
Yeah, it is empty. I don't know what happened.
Who owns it?
I don't know.
Maybe just where the stone is a little bit of town property.
No, it would be on here.
Yeah, it will be shown there, but it's not, doesn't show.
Necessarily.
All right, is there anybody who knows about the assessor office?
Well, Jeremy would know best on that one because he knows where the town lines are.
And because sometimes your maps don't quite
Right.
show where the road is.
Because there's a distance that goes over from the road.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that looks.
You gave a name when you had to walk over it, didn't
Yeah, right here. Burgeot. Lawrence T. and something. And Karen.
Historical Commission might know about that.
Yeah. You don't know about that?
Ask Mrs. Buck.
All right,
That's it.
cool. Anybody else have any comments and concerns? No? Anybody from the public? Mr. Conrad, how you doing, sir?
Joe Conrad, Board of Health. Over the last 6 months, there's been a dog problem. Some of them have ended up in this room. Dogs are required to get rabies shot, and they are required to be licensed in the town. The dog is on your property, it's your responsibility. Once they leave your property, they enter the public domain. They're required to be on a leash, actually held by a person. I've seen dogs in the parks off leash. We do not have a dog park in this town. Dog parks are fenced in for a reason.
Mosquito.
If the problems continue, not only will they come under the Board of Selectmen, they will come under the Board of Health. And we may start issuing fines. You have to have your dogs in control. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Conrad. Anybody else have any comments, concerns? Drew? Jim?
I did mine about the haunted house and covered there.
You don't want to say anything further? All right. Ray never likes to say anything anymore.
He will.
But he. Anybody else on Zoom?
No,
Is there anybody on Zoom?
nobody on Zoom. Crickets, there's crickets on Zoom.
You know, I think they all watch on Facebook now.
Yeah.
They're like, why go on Zoom?
Mhm.
Like, these guys are boring. All right, nobody has any more comments or concerns. Our next meeting is October 5th at 6 PM.
I won't be here.
Did you put in vacation time?
I did, yeah.
I don't remember that. So October 5th at 6 PM will be our regular meeting. Will you be here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll be here. So we'll see you all then, and.
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously, and we are adjourned.